Welcome back, everybody, to Fire Your MD Now Radio. We are live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. It's the 22nd of August, 2014, and I don't know what the hell happened, but it's like autumn just kind of dropped like a ball-peen hammer. Here in Alberta, it was so hot out for a while, for our regular 2 months of summer. And it just got cold, just like that. So I'm hoping that doesn't stick around. Call-in line is 1-844-374-5433. Once again, 1-844-374-5433. And I'd like to give a big shout-out to the members of Team Glidden. I've made some really good friends over the last little while. I'm talking about Blake Chin, the beautiful Graciela, and Teresa in Iowa. You are all wonderful. I love going on the chat room, and that's another thing too. We don't have that up and running on Fridays, but during Monday to Thursday, you can go to the drgliddenshow.tv, and you can actually watch Dr. Glidden in his studio office conducting the radio show. And then during the commercials, there's a chat room, and he will take your questions and answer you in real time. So it's just a good way to go. Also, if you want to join our team, you can contact me, and the email address is mike@teamglidden.ca. Now, if you want to email me any questions during the show, you can do that as well. It's mike@teamglidden.ca. Now, we've got calls already online. We got Casey in Delaware, Wayne in Alberta. We got Susan on the line. Every one of you, I want you to just hang on. There's a couple things I want to cover here first. I would like to talk about ADHD, or attention deficit disorder. Now, I believe that this is a made-up disease. I don't believe it's a disease at all. I believe that it's a way to put kids on dangerous drugs while at the same time telling kids don't do drugs. Legitimizing ADHD, an excuse to sell more pills. This is from drugwatch.com. It's official. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is a bona fide neurological condition. Yeah, right. But while the disorder is now recognized, the problem of legitimately diagnosing the condition still exists. There's no single test to diagnose it, and its symptoms are vague enough to fall under other mental disorders such as anxiety, depression, or learning disabilities. The National Institute of Mental Health defines ADHD as difficulty staying focused and paying attention, difficulty controlling behavior, and hyperactivity or overactivity. Based on this definition, you can diagnose just about everybody with ADHD at some point in their lives and drug them. Based on the NIMH definition of ADHD, I might have been diagnosed if I'd grown up in the United States and not Canada, where they don't really recognize the disorder. Well, that's not true. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, I got a sound clip, and I want you to listen to this, and it kind of blows the lid off of the whole ADHD BS problem. Let's roll that clip right now.
At this time, we do not have a diagnostic test for ADHD. Therefore, the validity of the disorder continues to be a problem.
In 1998, the National Institute of Mental Health held what's called a Consensus Development Conference, in which the aim was to push the diagnosis of ADHD and to push the stimulant drugs. They had 30 experts come together to address an objective panel, which would then give a consensus as to what the issues were. And the result was a consensus statement which said that ADHD was controversial, that it had no proven biological basis, that there was a risk of over-medicating our children, and that stimulant drugs have a lot of serious adverse effects.
We do not have an independent diagnostic and valid test, such as a biological test or such as a blood test.
I still want to get to the other part of the question, which is just a description of what you might be looking for.
Okay.
But before you go on to that, it sounds a little bit like you're saying that the definition is a little like the Supreme Court's definition of pornography, which is you know it when you see it.
No,
I'm concerned with it.
We're going to disagree, and I would like any member of the panel to describe a typical ADHD in terms of symptomatology. Mark, would you like to, since you see them in your practice?
I think the panel has been frank, and the difficulties here are immense in terms of
they were caught in a lie at the consensus conference.
It is hard. It's very hard to know how to answer this question. These kids, in my experience, when you see these kids, they are, several standard deviations different in terms of they cannot sit still, they cannot attend, they cannot, even when they are as if driven by a motive. There are some good clinical descriptions of these kids. I think part of the problem is in the community. When you are a physician and somebody comes to you as a parent and says, my child might have attention deficit disorder, it's very difficult to know what to do. And how much confirmation do you need? Do you need a teacher who also who sees many kids and says, this kid is 2 standard deviations different from the other kids in my classroom? The parent says this kid is different, and and then even if you say this child is different, you have immense problems with trying to say, why is this child different? Is this child being abused? Is this child lead poisoned?
As of the consensus conference, they confessed they had no evidence that it was a disease.
I think, I don't think the panel is saying anything different, although we said it in more sophisticated ways, as the diagnosis is a mess. But we all have a belief that we are dealing with a very serious core problem, and that we have a diagnosis that allows us to communicate and gives us research, generates sort of ideas for research, and I think I think part of the problem is the profession keeps changing the diagnosis. We have DSM-4, the latest thing, but we have no guarantee that DSM-5 won't give us yet another diagnosis.
Right, keep changing.
We forced them under heavy questioning to admit that all the children who were showing up with brain abnormalities in fact had long drug histories, not just even stimulants, but a variety of different kinds of drugs. And we know from animal experiments that many psychiatric drugs, including the stimulants, can cause permanent changes in the brain.
The belief system that psychiatry has these days is no longer has anything to do with scientific evidence. It's in the realm of religion.
Nowhere in the brain or body of children said to have ADD or ADHD can an abnormality be found, or has an abnormality ever been found prior to their drugging. In other words, their drugging is the first abnormality.
However, after the consensus conference was over and the panel had disbanded, the government simply rewrote it and came out with their own conclusions anyway.
And they just rewrote it and came up with the conclusions that they wanted to begin with. So, listening to that guy trying to explain to the panel exactly what ADHD is and the symptoms, and it was like, when you, it's like, why didn't he just be honest and say, look, we got a lot of drugs to sell? I mean, I said this on a previous show. When I was a kid, we got rambunctious in class, we got smacked, or they sent us outside to do push-ups or run around the sport field. They didn't automatically say, you need drugs. In fact, we were strongly discouraged from taking drugs. Now, I ran into another article on this at ScienceNordic.com, ADHD medication enhances the risk of heart problems in children. A new Danish study indicates that children receiving ADHD medication have a higher risk of getting heart problems. Now, we know from the work of Dr. Joel Wallach that heart problems are an obvious calcium deficiency, okay? You know, along with the other 90 essentials. But you take a kid that's already minerally, vitamin, and amino and acid deficient, and you add these drugs into the mix. Well, listen to this. The risk of developing heart problems is twice as big for children taking medication for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder when compared to children not receiving the medicine. The study builds on data from 714,000 children born in 1990 to 1999. It is the most comprehensive database study within the field, explains the head of the project, Soren Dalsgaard, a psychiatrist at the National Center for Register-Based Research at Aarhus University. I was surprised that the increased risk of heart problems was so high, and that the risk did not only apply to children who were already susceptible to heart ailments, said the psychiatrist. The result is worrying. Worrying. It shows that clinicians must continue to be aware of the risk of heart ailments when we prescribe medicine to ADHD patients, he says. The study was published in the scientific publication Journal of Adolescent and Psychopharmacology. Now, when you take into account that a whole lot of people taking SSRIs and psychoactive drugs end up killing themselves or their parents, specifically kids. If you let your kids take these drugs and don't nutritionalize them first, you're a damn idiot. Mike Phillips filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be back with calls after this. Welcome back to Fire Your MD Now Radio. Mike Phillips filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. Let's take some of your calls. First of all, we're going to go to Wayne in the best province in Canada. That's Alberta. Sorry, Manitoba. And then we're going to go over to Casey in Delaware, Sheila in Milwaukee, and Cecilia in Hawaii. Wayne, you are live. How you doing, buddy?
Good, excellent.
Good, good. What do you want to talk about today there, brother?
Well, with ADHD, well, what you were talking about, my son, the teachers got him on the drug because they thought he was ADHD, and it made him into a zombie.
Yeah.
And after a few months, we just said no and forgot about it, or took him completely off the medication. And he's an excellent father and husband and son and everything else.
So you're one of the smart ones.
Yes, amen. And I wanted to thank you very much for getting us on this, Colleen and I.
I thought I knew who I was talking to.
Yeah, because I had skin cancer. I got rid of that, and I got rid of my insulin.
Okay, now wait a minute. Back up here, Wayne. For those of you who just started listening to the show, I've been conducting meetings every Thursday at 7 o'clock here in Camrose, and Wayne and his wife Colleen have been coming, and they've been bringing lots of people. And Wayne has an amazing story. Now, how long have you been using our products, Wayne?
About 40 days.
40 days. 40 days, people. 40 days. That's it. That's just a little over a month. So how long were you a diabetic?
23 years, practically.
23 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you've completely quit the insulin.
Yep.
Wow. And and Wayne was saying last night he had skin cancer on the top of his head, and it's gone. It just went away. And this is only in 40 days?
Yes, amen.
That's amazing, Wayne. You and your wife you're doing really good work. And these people, after the meeting last night, they showed me they had made up these invitations, and they'd put a couple of YouTube links on, and they're just running around giving people invitations to our meetings. And I predict great things for you and Colleen, Wayne, in the near future.
Yes, amen.
Wayne, thank you so much for calling and sharing that with everybody. 40 days, man. So what were they going to do about the skin cancer?
Well, gonna go to the specialist to take it out, and then skin graft and everything else.
Did you go back and tell them they're fired?
Gonna do that on September the 2nd, I think it is.
That's when they've got you scheduled to come in and take a look at it?
No, I just see my doctor. I fired the woman here about a week ago. They tried making an appointment with me.
Right on, Wayne. So there you go, people. Skin cancer and insulin dependency gone in 40 days. That's almost unheard of. So, you know, Wayne, I look at statistics. I'm gonna be reading a few stories later on in the show because everybody knows healthcare in Canada is free, right? Well, nothing could be further from the truth, and we don't even have healthcare. We have disease management. We have cut it, burn it, drug it, and that's the extent of what they're going to do with you. So, you know what, Wayne, congratulations on taking your health in your own hands. And everybody listening last night, this guy's been coming to my meetings for about a month, and praise God, he is just about totally in the clear. Now, Wayne, are you just about getting ready to go back to work or what?
No, I've been disabled since 93.
Since 93. But you know what? I'm guessing if it only took 40 days to get as far as you have, you're just about ready to start kickboxing.
Yeah, I agree.
Wayne, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling the show. Say hi to Colleen for me.
You bet. God bless.
God bless. Take care, my friend. Let's boot over to Delaware. We're going to talk to Casey. And Casey has a strange problem, and it is referred to as hirsutus corona glandis. Am I correct, Casey?
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am.
But you really got to question anything that MD say. Every man will be born with it.
Casey, you're cutting out on me. There's a problem with your phone. I'm not sure what's going on there. Could you please run that by me again?
I said, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
I said...
you know what, Casey? Hold it right there. I hear the music. That means we're going to go to a break, and we're going to come right back to you, and I want to talk to you about this a little bit, so stay on hold. Sheila in Milwaukee, Cecilia in Hawaii will come to you after Casey. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. We're live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. The call-in line is 1-844-374-5433. And if you want to get involved with Longevity, you want to get on board the team, you can email me, mike@teamglidden.ca. Interesting stuff here. We're talking to Casey in Delaware. And, Casey, I want to ask you a few questions about this, okay?
Okay.
Now, for anybody wondering what we were talking about there, this hirsutoid papillomas, it's also referred to as pearly penile papules, and it results in little kind of like spinies around the head of a man's penis, okay? And that's the nicest way to describe it. Now, anything I can come up with on this says it's harmless and it doesn't cause any problems. Now, let me ask you this. Are you circumcised?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Because studies show that less occurrences of it are after circumcision. But did this just come up, or how long has it been that way?
I've had it since I was a teenager. And it's had more of a psychological effect. You know?
Right. Yeah. But it doesn't. It's not causing any pain or discomfort.
Maybe a little bit doing intimate.
Yeah. But, okay.
But my question is, because it is actually ways that guys have got rid of it.
Yeah.
You know, MDs say it's normal, but you really got to question anything they say. And guys have got rid of it with like essential oils, particularly like tea tree oil. And I was wondering, maybe do you know why that would be, that it will go away by using like essential oils like tea tree or lavender oil, or
I tell you what, I am going to do a little bit of research here during the show. Okay, Casey? I'm going to look into this a little bit more, and I'm going to come up with an answer before the end of the show. And if I can't, what I'm going to do is get a hold of Dr. Glidden, and I want you to send me an email, all right, Casey?
Okay.
My email address is mike@teamglidden.ca.
Okay,
Mike at teamglidden.ca, 2 D's in Glidden. And I'm going to find out what I can about this because this is a new one to me. But, I don't recommend getting surgery on it right off the bat.
I don't plan on doing that anyway.
Yeah, good. All right, it's kind of embarrassing to talk about, but I'm glad you called the show. And I'm going to come up with something for you here, buddy, because nobody wants that, right?
No.
All right, keep in touch with me, Casey, and let's see if we can get this dealt with in a way that's without any side effects or drugs or surgery. All right, my friend?
Okay, thanks.
Talk to you later, Casey. We're going to let you go, and we're going to jump over to Sheila in Milwaukee. How you doing, Sheila?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine, my friend.
Great. Okay. I have a neighbor who had cancer of the esophagus. He had surgery on it, and they pulled his stomach up to about his chest area. They cut off whatever they had to cut off. He was 6 months on a feeding tube, but now is able to eat. He went back into the hospital because he was having complications, and they found that he has cancer in his spinal fluid. Yep. And therefore, they found a new drug, of course, that they're tested on him. My question is, and he's going downhill very fast, my question is there any chance of hope that by using maybe the Healthy Start Pack with maybe Glidden and Z-Radical, that anything can be done?
Well, you're talking to a guy that hope springs eternal. You heard Wayne call in just a little bit ago here. He actually cleared up skin cancer in 40 days. So, we have seen it, and the thing about it is he's going to have to hit it really hard. And, it's a testimony to the whole thing. They removed a section of his esophagus, and lo and behold, the same condition is still in his body. So, they found it in his spinal fluid. What, are they going to remove his spine next? They don't deal with the problem. They just keep removing things and shifting things around and drugging them. Now, here's the deal. I don't know how far is too far. And neither do you, and neither does he. Only God knows that. But what I do know is the approach that I would take is exactly what you just said. If he has any kind of budget for it, I would be hitting the triple treat chocolate, the selenium, the Z-Radical, hard, real hard. And I would be getting, especially the Z-Radical, if I was him, I'd be getting as much into me as I can. Because, really, what's he got to lose at this point, right?
Right. He's been on, since he's been in the hospital, the second time out, he's been on chemoradiation every day.
Yeah, so he probably feels like crap.
Yeah. Well, and my thoughts were, are you going to let him just die waiting for this drug that they don't know anything about, or maybe get some stuff that might have a chance of helping you?
Yeah. Well, there's a serious fire raging in that body, and it needs to be put out. So, if we can get approximately 200,000 ORAC value into him every day, that would be the way to go. So, if he's got the funds to do that,
he does.
Then, okay. So, you know what? I'd be getting him ordering yesterday, Skippy Lou. And you're in Milwaukee. I'm not sure how long it takes for stuff to get there, but Sheila, recommend to him that, just go. You sounds like you know what you're talking about. So do a little bit of research and come up with a combination that'll get him up to around 200,000 ORAC points a day. That's not going to be cheap, but in all reality, he should have never had this happen to him in the first place, and that's not his fault. That is, quite frankly, his doctor's fault. because this information's been around for a long time. So anybody listening out there, if you think you're young and healthy and that you don't have any problems, you don't have to worry about it, you could have free radical damage causing problems right now, and you have no idea. So, before you're in the bed getting the chemo, take your future into your hands. Now, Sela, if you can, is he listening right now?
No.
Okay. You can download a podcast of this show at gcnlive.com. You can also listen to the show. This same one's going to be looping over the weekend. So, I would definitely recommend, if he can afford it, hit it hard. He's got nothing to lose. I mean, if he dies, then all that money that he would have spent on products isn't going to do him any good. So if we can bring this guy back, that would be my advice.
Do you think any of this will have an adverse effect with the chemo radiation or other meds that he's taking?
No, I don't. Just as simple as that.
Okay, how much Z-radical, how much selenium?
Okay, how much does this guy weigh? Probably not much, I'm guessing.
Well, he used to be about 280. And then he's probably down to probably 200 now.
Yeah. So, if you can get him on 2 Healthy Start packs and about 4 bottles of selenium. Okay? 4 bottles.
That's per month? Per month, right?
Yeah, that's per month. You betcha. Now, also, as much triple treat chocolate, because that's pretty high ORAC value right there. Okay? Also, Cell Shield RTQ, Immortalium, the Z-Radical, as much Z-Radical as he can afford. If he's got to drop $500 a month on this, that beats laying in a bed. So if we can help this guy to get back, definitely. 4 bottles of selenium, go with 2 Healthy Brain and Heart packs. All right, because that'll give you 2 bottles of Cell Shield and 2 bottles of selenium. And then on top of that, order 2 extra bottles of selenium, the triple treat chocolate, and as much Z-Radical as he can afford. And cross your fingers and hope that it's not too late for this guy. And also, it never hurts to ask God to intervene. I've seen things I can't explain, and I have asked God for things that I thought were impossible in the past. And I have gotten them inexplicably, and nobody can convince me that he's not real. So, it might be time for some prayer and putting some money on the table for this guy to get the products, and cross your fingers. Sela, I want to know how it goes, okay?
Okay.
Could you keep in touch with the show and let us know, because I'm very interested in hearing how it works out for you.
Well, I hope there's good in that, Paul. Convinced he's pretty much a doctor guy, and I thought I have a Healthy Start pack and a bottle of Z-Radicals and some Cell Shield just at home, and I thought maybe I could run over and he could at least, if I have to pay for it, that's fine. I mean, he's got the money to do it, but just as a gesture of neighbor love, maybe just to let them know that I really don't want to see him gone. So, So anyway, so be it. I'm going to jaunt over there right now. So.
Have him taking like 6 or 8 of those Cell Shield RTQ a day right now, because man, he's got some problems. So and he's also got a section of his esophagus missing, and that didn't help, right? Obviously, so he's got a real fight ahead of him. I hope him the best.
Yeah.
All right.
Know how it goes. Okay, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Sela. Thanks for calling. We're going to jump over to Cecilia in Hawaii. How you doing, Cecilia?
I'm doing very good. Aloha.
Aloha. Did you hear I did a radio interview with Mike Rivero out of Hawaii there on the island of Oahu?
Yeah, that's where I am.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. So, I'm in Canada, and it's getting near the end of August and it's already getting cold. I don't know if you heard me talking about it earlier. So I imagine every day was nice in Hawaii.
Yes, it actually can be a little bit warm this time of year. So
yeah, I believe it.
I live on the dry side.
Okay, so what's on your mind, Cecilia?
Okay, 2001, I had gastric bypass surgery. This was before I knew anything about what I should and shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And for the next 8 years, I spent time in the chemotherapy lab getting iron because my ferritin would drop to 2. And I had all kinds of digestive issues because I'm missing 7 feet of my small intestine now. And one of the main issues that I've had throughout this whole process has been gas. And it sounds funny to say, but I've eliminated the 10 bad foods, but it just seems like if I even put an ice cube in my mouth or a piece of lettuce, I'm going to bloat up. And it's just gotten to the point now where it's just uncomfortable. I don't look forward to eating anything.
Yeah, Cecilia, you stay right there. I hear the music. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to come back to Cecilia in Hawaii right after this. Welcome back. We're live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. And the call-in line is 1-844-374-5433. And you can get a hold of me. And that's Mike at teamglidden.ca. And I actually spend a lot of time dealing with people. I made a lot of new friends. And we've helped a lot of people get their health back. I'm not a doctor, but in a lot of ways I'm better than a doctor because I've never, ever left a scalpel inside of somebody, and I've never drugged them to death, and I've never radiated them. That's on my list of credentials. However, I've seen people get rid of diabetes and just all kinds of really nasty conditions that doctors said, well, we're going to have to do this or you're going to live with it the rest of your life. Not so. Cecilia in Hawaii, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. So, bloating and excess gas, that can be very embarrassing and uncomfortable, and no woman wants that. So, let me ask you this. You say you got rid of the 10 bad foods?
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that?
It's been a process. I started with wheat and worked my way through.
You know what? That's a good way to do it.
Consistently for about 6 months.
Okay, good. And did you notice any difference whatsoever?
A little bit at first. Definitely the wheat is a really bad one for me. Even a minute amount will make me blow up like you put a spike pump in my belly button.
Yep.
But even right now, I'm telling you simple things like anything I put in my mouth is bothering me. Now, I did try root beer belly. It helped a little bit. It at least takes away the pain, but it doesn't take away the problem.
Yeah,
I just want to enjoy, and you mess with the digestive tract, you mess with everything.
That's right. That's where health starts. I mean, if you can't absorb nutrients, you're done. It's that simple. So, what I would like you to do, first of all, tell me, how much do you weigh, Cecilia?
226 pounds.
Okay, I want you to get 2 healthy digestion packs. Okay?
Okay.
2 healthy digestion packs, and that's it. And I want you to follow them according to what is written on the products you're going to get with each of those packs. And by the way, I want you to get the Liquid Beyond OsteoFX. Okay?
Yes, that's already what I do.
Okay, good. So 2 healthy digestion packs. Take that every day and keep in touch with the show and let us know how you're doing. You haven't noticed any consistent pattern with things you eat, or it's just everything?
No, if it goes in my mouth, I end up with the problem within about 10 minutes of eating.
Yeah. And you said the root beer belly helped for a little while?
I just tried it actually for the first time at a meeting here on Oahu last night, and I just went up to Melina and I bought the box from her because it helped. It took away the pain and then the discomfort. But I figured if that works, then there's got to be something else I can do to make it more healthy inside there so that I can process the nutrients. Because now my body, I did blood work after being on the Healthy Start Pack for 3 months, and all my blood levels that I was struggling with, like potassium, B12, iron for my ferritin, all of it went up to normal once I got on the longevity products.
Oh, if you're taking the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, you do not have a problem with B12. It's like 16,000% of the recommended intake. So, have you noticed any difference?
I was getting a shot a week, and they were still struggling keeping it up before that, and I'm not getting it. No more red Kool-Aid in my arm.
Awesome. So, okay, you know what? Well, along with those 2 healthy digestion packs, get a couple of things of the root beer belly too. Do that as well.
Okay.
Okay, so do that and keep in touch with the person that you met at the meeting and keep in touch with the show. And I'm looking forward to hearing you call back and telling me that your problems are a thing of the past and a bad memory.
Okay, great.
All right,
Thank you so
Cecilia,
much.
you bet. We're going to let you go. We got a hard break. Ashley in San Diego, granuloma, annular. I've got your number. Hang on. We're going to come to you right after this hard break. And then Jim in Myrtle Beach. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be back after this.